Welcome back to Out of the Rough. I'm with Greg Amsler. Greg Amsler is a proprietor with Salt Creek Grill, and he's also on the SCV Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, Hospital Foundation Board. I'm going to keep going, Boys and Girls Foundation, and the Michael Hoffman Advisory Board.
Correct.
So you're very involved. Much of your day is spent on boards and advising and giving back to the community.
Well, that's the way I was brought up. And my family, my father and my mother were both involved. And for me, that's just the way, not only is it personally satisfying, but it's the way we do business. We just get involved in the community. And it's a lot of fun. There's a little bit of personal satisfaction in it too. So it's not just all business and everything else. We do have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, part of the roots of your business is charity work. We're working a lot with Ed, with the Chamber of Commerce the last couple of years. One thing I do want to touch upon is your roots, because what I think allowed Salt Creek to survive was your roots growing up in the Midwest, your work ethic in the Midwest, and having over the last two, I mean, you are a high-end, you are a very well-established restaurant. And during tough economic times, people think to cut things out, and you have to come up with creative ways to be successful. Tell us about your roots.
Well, I'm originally from the Midwest. It gives me kind of a fiscally conservative background. And the hardworking, lifestyle, I guess, is a good way of putting it. Whether it's farmers or whether you're in the cities in the Midwest, and I think we brought that, and my partners have brought that also from the Midwest. And it's just a way of doing business. We were hurt like everybody else. And we're on the front lines when the stock market crashes and goes down 700 points in a day. One of the first things that people cut out is, we're not going out for business or going out for dinner tonight. Right. So we had to adapt. We had to do something pretty quickly because it all happened so fast. It caught a lot of us by surprise about how deep and how quickly it all happened. And it's something that we went back to our basics. We took a look at our product. We said, okay, and our product as a restaurant is not only our food and beverage, but it's also our ambiance, our service, our whole box. And the first thing we wanted to do is take a look at what we were doing. What is our product? And let's try to get that as good a value as you possibly can. And value doesn't just mean the cheapest price. It doesn't mean the biggest portions when you're talking about a restaurant. It's getting the most bang for your buck. We wanted to make sure that because people are still spending money, and we wanted to make sure that if they chose us, we would give them the best value for their dollars.
And experience.
And
best experience. Yeah. If they're going to go for their anniversary, or if they're just going to go for a simple dinner, they want that experience. You know, we talked with Ed about the experience of entertainment. Same thing in a restaurant. You got to have the music. You got to have the vibe. You got to have, you brought in, one of the things you did is you brought in jazz on Sunday mornings, brunches. Yep. And then you also brought in music at night.
Yes, we did. Again, it's the whole package. It's the whole box. When you have a good experience at nighttime, for example, and you enjoyed the jazz, you enjoyed the live entertainment, you enjoyed the dinner, why not come back for lunch? Why not come back for Sunday brunch? And let's keep that going. And that's one of the things that we want to do, is get people in the habit of coming back. And to do that, we looked at everything, and we said, okay, now that we've gotten our product the way we want it to be, how do we promote it? And with back then, 2 or 3 years ago, we weren't doing a whole lot with the social networking. With Facebook, with Twitter, doing a lot of email blasts. We did a little bit of it, but we jumped whole hog into it.
You jumped into it.
Yes.
I would get emails from you to talk about Girls' Night Out, where the ladies can go out and get a drink and go out with their friends. You had a lot of promotions. You'd promote your Sunday event. You'd promote your musicians. You'd also promote your steaks one night. You'd have a special. I thought that was great because you were reaching out and trying to create value. A value for a meal. I think each day of the week you had something going on.
Yeah, we call them happenings. We have a different happening each night of the week. Monday night, for example, is half price bottle wine. Any bottle of wine under $100 is half price. That allows people to come in, get a good value, get a very good value that they can either buy their favorite wine that they normally buy at a cheaper price, or try that higher end wine at a more economical price. Along with that, they're going to have a nice dinner. They may, by coming in the door, they may remember, you know what, my mother's coming into town next week. Let's make reservations for her coming in. So it keeps your product, your storefront at the front of people's minds.
So you touched upon a few things, and I want to make this clear for the business owners. You first touched upon the fact that you had to become a marketer. You had to become a promoter of your business. But you also had to refine your menu, didn't you? You had to look at your menu. You look at your menu twice a year. In fact, twice a year tonight happens to be the rollout of a new menu
Yes,
or an enhancement of a menu. You have to look at your menu and make sure the product's great.
Absolutely. You can't just come, and this may be an old school way of thinking, you can't just build a great mousetrap, or for us, have a great steak and just say, hey, come on in. You have to make it, number one, value-oriented, and make sure you're constantly changing it. We still have a lot of favorites on our menu that we've had for 12 years that we've been open. But we can change a lot of things, bring them back a little lighter fare in the spring and summer, more back to the steaks and some of the heavier fare in the winter. Our dessert menus change, our wine list change, our lunch and dinner menus change. It's all reflected on keeping it fresh, no pun intended, and keeping it new. You can't just build a better mousetrap and say, this is a good product, come and get it. Yeah. You have to be able to go out there and grab people's attention and get them inside the door.
Yeah, you mentioned to me one time, you said, well, Fred, we got to change the menu. It can't be steak heavy in the summer because people don't want a big old steak in the summer when it's 105
degrees.
Exactly. You did make one change in the last 3-4 years in the patio, and that created a great vibe. Tell us about that change that you did and the strategy behind that. I know it's a big long-term investment.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 5 years now. We basically doubled actually more than doubled the size of our patio. We found out that was a very popular place to eat at our restaurant and throughout other restaurants in SCV. And we were able to put in an outside bar there, new tables, new chairs, multiple TVs, new sound system, to create an entirely different, like you said, vibe, an entirely different atmosphere experience by eating outside, people watching. We installed misters, so it's a little cooler in the summer. We have heaters. We can enclose it in the winter.
Special events?
Special events. We can, and we just had one last night. We can rent out the entire patio for wedding receptions, different corporate events. You can use the patio to do presentations. You can hook up slideshows, QuickBooks to our TVs.
I've done a speech in the patio.
Yes, you have.
Yes, for a luncheon.
And it was very good.
Yeah, thank you. So you've got different regions of your restaurant, and I think that's one of the things that keeps Salt Creek fresh. There's a dining room in the back,
private dining room.
Right. There's a bar, a really nice one. There's the patio with the bar, and you could rent that out. And then there's the dining room in itself. And I think that's helped keep everything fresh at Salt Creek Grill. We're going to jump to a quick break, but I'd like to keep the two of you for the next segment, and I want to talk about charities and how you can grow your business out here in the Santa Clarita Valley by being associated with different nonprofit groups. So we're going to jump to a quick break, and we'll be right back.